Hey there, aspiring guitarist. Here I go again. Guitar chords. I know you're sick of hearing me talk about guitar chords, but let me do it again and add a little flair to it with a little practice. Um, y'all have heard me laugh about people when I was teaching that immediately go to, I want to play some lead, I want to play some lead. And I'm like, yeah, we'll learn some leads, let's learn chords. And I go into why. And then I talk about the musical alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, repeat. Now, what I suggest you do is go buy a chord poster, or print one out on your from your computer, or even better, get a piece of paper and make a chord diagram and write them out yourself. So the first thing you got to learn to do before you can do all that is how to read a chord diagram. Well, look that up. How to read a chord diagram. You probably already know how. And y'all have heard me say, practice all your chords. Learn your chords. Learn the major chord, the open cowboy chord, move to a minor chord, then move to a seventh chord. Some chords are harder than other chords, but this lesson is something you can begin, put in the middle, or end your guitar chord practice with. Now, I've talked a lot about making chords beautiful, learning how to anchor a note to move to the next chord where you don't have to lift it. People used to say, every single chord you should lift your hand, touch your knee, come back. Well, that has its place. I mean, it does. Sometimes you go from, I don't know, playing a lead part, and then you got to go to the chord. And so you do need to know how to come from nowhere with your fretting hand and boom, land on a chord. But that's not necessarily true when your fretting hand is already engaged in making a chord and you've got to move to another one. That's where the techniques of a classical style guitarist come in, where you can learn to transition and move from one chord to another quickly. One of the easiest ways I show this is a major E open chord to an E minor. And, you know, many of us are taught to make an E minor with fingers 1 and 2. Well, I also show students that you can make them with 2 and 3. Now, when you make it an E minor with 2 and 3, there you go, 2 and 3, you can strum the E minor. See this index finger just waving around with nothing to do on an E minor? All I have to do, boom, there it is drop it down on the first fret, and I've gone to an E. E, E minor. But this is what I want you to try to incorporate into your guitar practice once you start learning a few chords. Some chords are harder than others. You remember how you're always taught to keep your thumb straight on the back of the neck? And people go, well, I see people that don't do that all the time. That's true. But it's never a bad idea to practice that technique daily. An F. It's hard to make an F chord, the regular F chord, and keep your thumb straight on the back, because often we have a tendency to pull this number. But try it. Make your A chord, lay it down, and then straighten your thumb. And when you straighten that thumb in the back, what you're going to find is it forces you to raise up your knuckles. And you're taught that. A teacher will teach you that. When you make a D chord, you may be making it like this, or you be making it like this, or something, or your thumb's all over the place. When you straighten that thumb out and put it on the back of the neck, your knuckles naturally raise up. And they would tell you to be able to stick your finger in the opening. that your knuckles should be high enough you can put a finger in there. So what I'm going to suggest you do is start with an A chord. Now it doesn't matter how you make the A chord. There's lots of ways. Remember, some people cram in all three fingers to get that A chord in. Some lay down a bar on the three strings, and some split it up to make more room dividing it out. Now, I'm not going to get into that. You can look that up yourself. Sorry, put some skin in the game. And go ahead and hate me and say I'm a jerk. Put some skin in the game. Look up the chords yourself. Learn to read chord charts. But when you do this, start out with the A. Keep that thumb straight. Then make the B. Now, people hate a B. Find it. And you'll see why they hate that B. Because they're like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Well, it's just a B. I mean, put your finger down and then lay down, but keep that thumb straight. And try that. Then move to a C. Now, we have a tendency to let our C, see it moving, but keep it straight. Go to the D. Keep that thumb straight again. Go to the E. Keep it straight again. Go to the F. Now, look, F is the worst. When we make an F, we have a tendency to lay the down that way. But try it. Just try it. Even if you can't sound it out right. Even if you've got to just lay it down, try your best. Or do the bar chord. Do the same with the bar chord. Keep your thumb straight. You may go, I don't want to do that. Let me tell you something. I do this, and I do it on my 2-inch wide nut Godin nylon electric guitar because that forces me to make a good, clean chord. Which, playing different genres of music, oh gosh, it comes in so handy. Now look, if I'm playing something really fast, I'm going to hit a chord fast. I don't usually do that. I usually fingerstyle pick. I play moderately at my fastest. I'm very seldom slinging through things at lightning speed. And if that's all you're into, move on to something else and forget I said anything. Don't wreck your guitar journey. But I'm telling you, technique matters. Practice matters. I can hear every argument. I've heard every argument. Why would I do that when I'm just going to not do it later? Well, if you're forcing yourself to make a clean chord every day, that's a clean D chord with a straight thumb in the back. And then you move to an E. And you make a clean E chord. Just one time. Just move through the chords. Then move through the minor chords. Okay, well, there comes those doggone bar chords. Do the best you can. But try to get in the habit of making the thumb straight across the back of the neck and your knuckles up. Not down, up, up. See that? Up, up, up. It develops technique. It's muscle memory. It's pattern. It's practice. It's when you were a kid, and if you ever played hopscotch, the more you played it, the more you could hit the block with your foot, or whatever you played, or throwing a baseball, at a catcher, or you remember the piece of plywood, or if you were, really wealthy back in my day, and you had one of those that would bounce the ball back to you, there was always a red square or rectangle for you to hit. It's just practice. So bring some, and you might go, look, I've been playing for 50 years. Well, so have I. I've been teaching for 50 years. I still take some part of my daily practice, and no, I don't practice daily every single day. Sometimes I might have yard work that goes into the night. Who knows? But I try to practice every day. Most of that is playing songs. I love to play songs. I want my practice to be fun, but there are portions of my practice time. Some people will argue that. They'll go, well, that's not practice if you're playing songs. Okay, well, whatever you need to get through to get to the next traffic light and it works for you, good. I need to practice my technique. I play Time in a Bottle just to practice that type of thumb picking. Then I play another song to practice another type of thumb picking. But I always try to incorporate a clean chord with a thumb straight, my knuckles up, to where I could literally, when I make a chord, something could pass into that space. Just something to think about. Practice makes perfect, but practice can be fun. It can be a lot of fun. Get a poster, hang it up, put it visually, and or don't. If this is like, I have this right here beside my computer chair where I practice. You know, I have a chair that has arms that raise to where I can actually play the guitar, or I have that couch behind me over there. I want to be comfortable when I play. I put, you notice there's a strap on this guitar because I play it a lot. And so, like, if I'm playing outside with others, I'm going to be standing most of the time. Actually, I've got that Marshall high stool that I play on most of the time. Hey, I'm 64. You can call me lazy, but, you know, I want to be comfortable. I've played in over the course of my life where I wasn't comfortable, so I like being comfortable when I play. I like having a good guitar journey, and that's what I want you to have. Technique. Every now and then you need to throw some technique in. That doesn't mean it's not a time to noodle. That doesn't mean this. You're going to hear people say you have to set aside, put a timer, whatever helps you do it. But incorporate some repeated technique practice. Repeated technique practice the right way. Slow it down. Take it time. Even if you got to lay one finger down at a time to make the chord. You know, sometimes I make a C chord, and depending on where I'm coming from, I'm like, do I want to lay the first finger down on the first fret, second string first, or do I want to start at the top? Do I want to start the middle? Am I coming from something real fast where I need to do the top strings near the top of the guitar, near the low E string, the sixth string, and then work my way down to hit it? There are times when I'm moving through chords fast, and I don't like to go fast, I've told you that I will, usually you strum from the top, usually. So a lot of times I will lay down the finger near the sixth, fifth, or fourth string before I lay down the fingers that are on the third, second, or first, because I'm going to hit that first. And then I can complete the chord, and I've made the whole chord. Just technique. Incorporate some technique. It will help you. It's not going to help you immediately tomorrow. Sometimes it will, though. Sometimes you'd be amazed at making that thumb straight across the back of the neck, lifting those knuckles. You get back to basics. And that helps you when you move into more complicated things. So, hey, I hope this helps you. I hope you have a great guitar journey. And most of all, and I do mean it, happy picking.